I love you, Kraticus.
I love you too, Will.
Hey? What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Robot Wars video. Today we're going to be upgrading the wheels on Kraticus, the little featherweight robot we're building, and just basically going to make like beefier wheels and better grip so we don't get pushed around all around the arena. So let's get into it. So I actually got this idea from Joe Brown, which is another YouTuber. You should totally go check him out. I'll put the links in the description and stuff. Which he basically made a crab robot, which is hilarious. It's really good actually. But he used these wheels. Well, not these specifically. Same company, but I thought I would order just the nylon ones with the same bore, and then I would do exactly what he said in his video. So when he did a build log of the thing, I'm going to take sort of some nylon. I'll show you in a moment. A nut that goes through into the mist that screws onto the actual motor itself, and then I'm just going to surround the outside edge and screw it and all the way around with a bike tyre cut down to size. So let's get started. So here's the plan. We're basically going to take one of these coupling nuts, which is actually a some part of a Volkswagen Golf brake pipe, but it actually works perfect size for this. That's going to be pressed into there either by heating it up or just by brute force and ignorance, which is entirely possible. And then once that's into there, in the centre of there, that'll then have the right thread to screw onto the motors. And then around here we'll just put some bike tyre, some old bike tyre that I've got lying around, cut down to size, and then little screws all the way around to hold it on. And then do that for both wheels, and we should have a really grippy robot. So here I'm just taking the bolts off the robot, like the mounts and things like that for the motors, and then I take the reverse thread screw out in a few moments and take the wheel off, and then we're good to go with the next step. So now we see the motors out, you can actually see that the coupling nut fits perfectly around this thread, and it goes down pretty much all the way, bar a small gap there. So next step is to stick this into the, or press it in or whatever way, into the actual wheel itself, and then we should be able to screw the wheel back on, which will be quite good. In the words of Joe Brown, hoist the sails! I'm not surprised he was struggling, jeez! Oh, blimey! We're almost there. There we go. If there's one thing I'm certain about, that's not coming out. Okay, I could definitely see why I think it was Chris, his name, in Joe's video, why he was struggling, because that was actually a sizable amount of work. But I seem to have got it pretty much nailed, because when I spin that, it's a slight, I mean, like, barely, like, slight wobble. And then, but when you'd after done that, you can then sort of run a surf arm along here and flatten this if you wanted to and make it perfect. But I shall see what I decide on that front. But yeah, next step is to so next thing I'm going to do is just do the other wheel the same way, and then it's time to put the tyre on. Okay, right in the middle of this project, I've just had an ingenious idea. Well, I say ingenious, somebody else has probably come up with it first. But anyway, in the middle of there, I don't know if I can get the camera to see. There you go, I think. Can you see a hole in the middle? And then there's like a baffle, because it's meant for joining two brake pipes. There's like a baffle in the middle. But it is too big for the reverse thread screw to go through it. So I plan on using well, that actually, I think that's probably too small, but yeah, I plan on using a drill bit and drill that hole. Oh, you can't even see. Drill that hole out there large enough to put this through, and then that'll, when it's screwed into place, it will then sit halfway through, and then about, I don't suppose, and then screw that much into the bottom of the motor there, like this part of the motor here. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you're wondering what the hell I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. There we go, I've drilled through, you see a nice bigger hole in there now, and I've just tried the screw and it fits perfectly. Look at that. So much, in fact, it's actually quite difficult to get back out. So, this is quite warm because I've just been drilling. So what the plan is now is to screw, I'll do this just to show you. But screw that onto there, so that I won't make sure it's tight, but you would make sure it's tight. And then you set your thing to the opposite way. And that seems to go nicely. And then that will go into there and lock everything on. Look at that. Next step, I don't know why I tapped it. Next step is to, I'm quite proud of that, to get the tie around, like cut it down, screw it around, and then Bob's your uncle, really. Okay, this is my weapon of choice. It's an old bike tyre, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut this up, cut it in half, and then cut it to fit round each of the wheels, and then we'll screw it on. Okay, after that long and laborious process, we've achieved two things. One, I think I broke my scissors. And two, we've got some nice tyres. I figured out, like, part way through that I was actually cutting a little bit too small on this one. So I may end up redoing this one. I might just use this as a backup because I don't want to waste it. I have got a lot left, but I want to make sure. But this one, I found if I just cut inside this one tread, fits absolutely perfectly. So if I wrap that around here, you get an idea. So the next step is to go through, there we are, you can see a bit better, go through and screw all the way around with little screws into this nylon, and then we're ready for final assembly. There we have it. There's all the tread screwed on, I suppose. I just got to trim that slightly there, like so it lines up better with that. Although that looks pretty good like that. But I'll trim it a little bit. But all we got to do now is screw this onto the motor. Hope you can see that okay. And then this fits into there, and set that screwdriver. It's ever so strange to be unscrewing to be tightening. It's very weird indeed. And then just tighten that up, and there we have it. Okay, apologies for that abrupt cut off. The camera died just as I finished the clip, but yeah, there we are. Both of them are done now. So the next step is to cut the holes bigger in the old robot over here in Cratagus because these holes are not quite wide enough. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll mount them down using the original clamps and stuff. Everything should fit no problem, fingers crossed. And then we'll see how it runs. Well, there we have it then. There's the wheels on, mounted and everything. I cut the holes bigger. The only thing is I couldn't mount this one side piece because this was originally obviously designed for the skinny little unicycle wheels. So I'll have to either, in the design, I'll shrink things down and move them in slightly. This can be adjusted later, but let's give it a whirl. I can't do a full test because I still haven't got the battery box, which hopefully will be in the next video. But we'll see if it runs on the wheels. Alright, here we go. I've plugged it in. Everything seems fine. So let's just give it a quick whirl. I can't, like I said, I can't really do much other until I get the battery box. But let's give it a whirl. Almost off the table. They do seem a lot more grippy. Let's see if I push that back in place. If I just reverse it and push my hand against it, I'll see in comparison to, because I've already stopped this thing. If you remember in the previous video, I've already stopped this thing from going wild. So if I yeah, it's definitely got more, I don't want too much, I ruined my table, but it's definitely got more grip, so that's marvellous. Well, there we have it, there's our wheels upgraded. Like I said, I think in the previous segment, that the next video we need to do a battery box and some other little doohickey things. I need to tweak the CAD a little bit as well, because as you can see I could not fit that bit on the thing, but I need to tweak it anyway once I get the scooter motor and all the cogs and things to do with the axe as well, so that's all still to come. Also a big thanks to Ellis from Team Pulsar who gave me the original idea for the wheels, and also Joe Brown who is owner and operator of Crabsolutely Crawful, if I get that right, who also like reminded me of this trick and also provided with a, like in his video, a really good way of doing the center doohickey. But anyway, big thanks to both of those. Go and check both of those out on YouTube and all the stuff. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, if you enjoyed, please like, comment and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I shall see you next time. Ta-ta!